Oh, I'm starting at the back again. Oh, what a mess. God damn it. Here we go then. 2014 cars this time. And it's going to be another tough one, it looks like. This video is supported by my wonderful patrons on Patreon. Check out patreon.com/Bruffy1322 to directly support the channel and find out all the perks you can get by doing so, including early car testing info and a dedicated shout out in one of these pre-video messages. Me and Locke starting at the back. I feel like he's going to end up much further up the field by the end of the race than I will. Alright, let's do it. Harmonic start, remember everybody, via raw. I mean, it's probably a good thing with that grid, but hey, it's a 2014 track, so it's got a bit of a dodgy grid. Plus, it's also a testing track. It doesn't need to have a good grid. It was intended for testing, not for actually racing on. But nevertheless, we shall be racing on it again. Back on Cutting Corridors GP. This is the original version now, though, rather than the newer version that we used for the 100 sports cars race. Oh! And immediately turned around. So, excellent first lap, excellent start to the oh, and I've crashed into the bloody... What an awful start to the race this has been so far. 2014, I remember 2014 being a much nicer time than what this has been. I said Locke would end up finishing further ahead at the by the end of the race than me, but I mean that's not going to be difficult to see happening now already. So we're starting in the Roosevelt because this was the first DLC car for 2014. These are all cars in this random more race, like we did with the 2013 race last week. These are all cars that were released in 2014. We're gonna take a walk back through the history books. Pace was a Dominator to start with. This actually wasn't released to GTA Online in 2014, but it was released to GTA 5 with the expanded edition. Was it the expanded? No. The enhanced edition. Enhanced edition was the PS4 and Xbox One version. And then the expanded and enhanced edition was the PS5 and Series X version. Well, this is going to be a tough race from this point on. I don't know what I'm going to be able to get out of this, but I'll do my best. And yeah, the 2014, the original Cutting Corridors GP track, it's not really meant for racing as such. It was meant for testing. That's why the sticky tire barriers and things like that have already caught me out with that apex. But with us using a 2013 track last time for the 2013 cars, I felt like we had to use a 2014 track for the 2014 cars, and then from this point on we probably won't try to bother keeping the tracks together with the just because it will get increasingly difficult. But yeah, 2014 is when I started testing cars on Cutting Corridors GP. Here we got the Turismo R, one of the first DLC cars, alongside the Alpha and the oh no, the Beach Bum DLC was the first DLC, but this was the first DLC in 2014 and the first to give us sort of a new some sports cars. What was it with the Alpha and the Turismo? Why am I spacing on that? What was this DLC called again? High Life or Business? I know they were the first two, right? Anyway, we used to get 3 cars per DLC back in the day. DLCs used to come more frequently as well. So I think we got a DLC for the Turismo, the Alpha, and whatever else that I can't think of in the business update. Oh, it was the Massacro, wasn't it? There you go. No, was it the Jester? Did the Massacro? Oh yeah, the Massacro came after, didn't it? Those two first DLCs in 2014, they blend together a little bit for me. And this is the it was the business and then High Life DLCs, I think, were like the first two major DLCs where we got sports cars and things. But they came relatively close. Like, we didn't have massive waits back then between DLCs. It was like 2 or 3 months, I think, and we used to get 3 cars per DLC, or 3 or 4, but they used to come much more frequently. There was no drip feed, obviously, back in 2014. It was a simpler time. We got updates more frequently, and we just got some, decent cars. But yeah, these are all the 2014 cars. That's what we're going to see. We're going to race all of them. Everyone's going to get the same cars by the end. Oh, I'm so sick of getting caught up with crap so far today. The entire day has been like that. Alright, there's the Jester. We're getting through these early DLCs quick. I can't even remember if that Massacro that I just had was the Massacro race car, to be honest. We do have the Jester and the Jester race car, the Massacro and the Massacro race car in this one. But yeah, 2014, that's when I started testing on Cutting Coroner's GP. 2013 is when I started testing the stock versions of the vehicles on the original Cutting Coroners. But then I decided that I needed a more involved track with a bit more variety to it, so I made Cutting Coroner's GP with the hairpin, with the longer back straight, stuff like that, and I think it's stood the test of time as a decent testing track. And it was created in 2014, so might as well use it for the 2014 race. Two little factoids, I suppose, about Cutting Coroner's GP. People still think Cutting Coroners doesn't have the extra O in it and think it's Cutting Corners and think I'm just saying it weirdly. Still to this day, people think it's Cutting Corners and rather than Cutting Coroners because it goes through the hospital and past the coroner's office. Bollocks! I should have respawned there, really. I thought I could get away in time. And also some people still to this day think that I race around the regular Cutting Coroners, so they'll load up the Cutting Coroners Rockstar created track, get a lap time that beats my lap times because it's a significantly shorter track, and then be like, not trusting of my times. So yeah, Cutting Coroner's GP, it comes from the name of the original Rockstar created Cutting Coroner's track. And Cutting Coroner's circuit itself, layout wise, it's similar, but much longer. And more variety as well. I think it's been a good testing track over the years. I mean, I'm up in the 13th. That's not so bad. As we saw lock in the Slam Van, the Slam Van's probably the slowest vehicle that we've got in this race, I think. That's our dozer of the previous race. I'm looking forward to these races though. We did the 2013 race recently. We're now on the 2014 race, and we're just going to go through all the years. We're going to get to see, go back through when cars were added to the game and stuff like that, and relive some of these cars. I think it's going to be fun. I really enjoyed the 2013 edition, and apart from the issues that I've had in this one, I've been enjoying this one as well. Huntley S. One of my favourite cars. They really released some bangers in 2014. Back when they tried to keep cars somewhat consistent with the original vision of the game, and you know, similar cars to 2013. God, I got lucky there. It's crazy now. They're so different. Cars that are released these days are so different to how they were in the base version of the game, with downforce and handling flags and all this stuff. Back in 2014, they were still making them like they did in 2013. I think I'm only in such a good position because I've had some of the quicker cars early. I think I'm in for a rough second half of the lap, honestly. Here's the slam van. Got it earlier than I got the dozer last time. The leaders are half a lap ahead though, so again, as it always is with these races, especially when you've got a bogey vehicle like the slam van, the people who were in the lead on the sort of last few laps are going to be those who haven't had the slam van yet. And I remember the slam van doesn't brake. I really like the slam van. It's given us so many good moments over the years. What a great addition this was. Came alongside the rat truck, I think, right? I don't think we have the rat truck in this race because we didn't really need both. We've stuck to 25. We're probably going to stick to 25 cars for every one of these yearly races as well. Seems like a good amount. Alright, where do I brake? Here, maybe. That's a little bit early, but better early than late. I must say I didn't know the slam van was even DLC. Really? Wow. That's what I wonder. As we go through these yearly races, how many cars are going to come up where some of you who've joined the game, you know, in 2016, 2017, even 2020, 2021, just don't know when these cars were released, or that they were DLC cars at all, or whatever. You know, the game's been going for so many years now. It's crazy, really. I still, you know, it still amazes me that second channel video that I put up testing the Entity XF over 8 years. Tested it in 2014 on this track, on the same track each time anyway. 2014, then I tested it again in 2017 for an updated lap, and then I tested it again in 2022. It's like, you don't realise how the time flies. And here I am, still here, testing cars, still playing the game. I think FiveM has been a massive help in prolonging the life of the game though. Doing races like this on Project Homecoming, the unique mod experiences that you can get with the modded cars, you know, in those times where the vanilla game has made bad decisions or not been as fun to play, there's always FiveM that's been there to, yeah, give us the fun that we would have liked to have from the main game. Anyway, Stallion. This was an expanded, no, an enhanced edition car as well, I think, right? This, the Blister Compact, the race car, muscle cars, and the Buffalo. And something else. The Dodo. The Dodo was an enhanced edition. Only available on PS4 and Xbox One back then. The Dukes as well, yes. And the Duke of Death. There's quite a few, really. Speaking of the Duke of Death, here it is. I don't think we have the Dukes in this race. I think we chose the Duke of Death instead. Remember, this was banned from GTA Online for so long. This was actually, like, literally blacklisted. It wasn't just that you couldn't buy it. it was actually blacklisted. So even if you found a way to like glitch it into your garage or something, it wouldn't save, it would just disappear. Because they thought it was overpowered back in the day. The Duke of Death was too powerful, too OP to be allowed in GTA Online in 2014. How things have changed. What? What's an orbital strike? I know, right? Must be a different group of people who were working on GTA Online back then than they're working on it in recent times. Hey, here's the Ballistic Compact. The thing that started off the whole class discussion when they put it into sports. Again, it came with the enhanced edition, so it wasn't... Technically, it wasn't a DLC as such. It wasn't downloadable update. It was just the PS4 and Xbox One version of the game that got these extra cars, kind of like how the PS5 version had the S95, the weaponized Ignis and the HSW stuff. They've always done that. Nice, I'll take those spots. Making up places on a Ballistic Compact lap. I'll not look a gift horse in the mouth with that. 2014, such a simpler time. 2014 was also when they made the spoiler update change, so spoilers only started giving extra traction after one of the updates in 2014. There was Box forgetting how the Slam Van has no brakes. Hey, the Massacro, in my original Bruffy orange colours as well. I used to paint all my cars this colour back in the day. Still haven't released what colour combination this is. There's been so many guesses. People always guess it wrong. One of my April Fool's videos back then was pretending I was going to give away this this colour combination, and I never did. Said I would at 1 million subscribers. That's pretty far from happening, so... Blue plus blue, indeed. That's an old reference from that old April Fool's video. 2014 April Fool's Day video, I think it was. What a car, still one of my favourite cars. Rhapsody. Can you believe we got some new compact cars in 2014 and then it was ages before we got any more? I think there was only 4 compacts in the game when it was first released, right? When's the real Bruffy Orange reveal? It's been 10 years. I literally just said it. When I get 1 million subscribers. Yeah, the I'm Not a Hipster update, that was a pretty good update looking back. Really cool cars. It was just... Updates were... They were more simple back in 2014 and 2015, before all the sort of businesses all came in. And everything started getting way too bloated, but... Like, I liked it. Like, yeah, maybe it wasn't as, like... as expansive as the kind of updates we've gotten in recent years, but I don't know, just the way that they released things back then was better as well, releasing all the cars from the update on you know the day that they were released. I know there was only 3 or 4 cars, but like that's what I'd prefer. The drip feed for say Drug Wars has been so horrendous that I'd prefer having like 3 or 4 cars at a time, once a month, rather than having one every week or one every 2 weeks. Ah, the Zentorno came along and became the new fastest supercar. Dethroned the entity. And what a legendary car the Zentorno is. Still a good bang for your buck vehicle as well, even today. What a machine. Best lap by far. Just a race car. Alright. I feel like these are the last two quick cars. How many laps we got? 7 laps left after this, I think. 8 laps, whatever it is. I feel like I think a top half is... I'm going to have done well if I manage to scrape a top half, honestly. After that first lap, I was never going to get a decent position with this. I think I said at the end of the 2013 race, let's see if I can keep doing a streak of a top 5 for all of these yearly random mores. Don't think that's going to happen. After the way this first lap went in this race. I would like to win one. I don't think I will. But it would be nice to win one of the yearly specific races. But yeah, if anyone didn't see the 2013 race, you can watch that one as well. After we hit the 100 sports cars and the 100 random more episodes, we are going to be going through all of the years. We've done 2013. This is 2014, and every random more race after this, all the way up to 2022, is going to be yearly specific cars. And then I guess we'll do 2023 sort of towards the end of 2023, and we'll sort of like keep adding to it, I guess. This is all stuff I don't do on my testing. Going all over the road to get all the curb boosts and brake boosting in various places and whatnot. None of that. I'm trying to keep it as clean as possible. The Dubster 6x6. Damn, I haven't seen anyone else in one of these yet. I didn't realise. Because thanks again to Dinmite for helping me do these yearly specific races and make the classes and stuff. I didn't realise the Dubster 6x6 was 2014. I actually thought it was a bit later than that. Oh yeah, this was locked behind level 100 as well, wasn't it? You have to be level 100 to be able to buy it. Imagine them doing things like that now. Locking cars behind levels. They care about selling shark cards too much now. Never gonna stop you from buying something. All of the original heist vehicles, we'll get onto that in the 2015 video I suppose, but they used to be locked behind completing the original heists. Then they changed it and just made it trade prices. Now they lock them behind GTA Plus. Furora GT. Oh. Worst vehicle to get in that position. For a long time, the only sports car without a spoiler. It was a weird DLC, this one. Wait, was it the Furora GT came with the Last Team Standing DLC, wasn't it? And I think it was it the only car that came with that DLC? It was like we had many small scale DLCs back then. Like the content creator update releasing just the content creator, the race creator to the game. That was 2013 obviously, but like just smaller scale DLCs that added game modes or a few cars here and there or a few missions. Furora, Hakucho and the Innovation. Yeah, the two bikes. And yeah, the Corkette Classic, the only car with the flight school update. Yeah, like different time. Glendale. I'm in the top 10. I mean, I feel like I've done all right to come back through the pack, but there might be a lot of people behind me. This is where it starts closing in as we get towards the end of the race. There might be people behind me still have faster cars to go. There might be people in front of me still got the slam van to do, possibly. Like, I don't know where I'm gonna end up. I've still got the Pisswasser Dominator, but I've also still got the Liberator. What else? Is the Panto? I think I've seen a Panto, so I'd still have that to do. And there's one other. You know, it's been nice going back and seeing the 2014 cars. A simpler time, a better time. All absolute great cars, even today. There were no duds. The Pigali, that's it. There weren't ever any duds. Like, every car they added had sort of some value or was at least nice to drive, or, you know, there was never anything added back then that was like advanced handling flags and drove terribly or had bad tow values like a Vamos or an Arbiter. You know, they just, you didn't get that. Pigali, for a long time the fastest front wheel drive car, added with DLC in 2014, and then I think it stayed as the fastest front wheel drive car until probably the Club, or maybe the Sugoi. Actually, I think had that title for a little bit. Yeah, today you're lucky if 1/3 of the DLC cars are good. I know, right? They've overcomplicated it way too much. The simple cars were the best. There's the Panto. So I've got the Liberator and the Pisswasser Dominator left. I'm going to be trying to overtake Benny and his Liberator in my little Panto. The leader's in the slam van now. I saw the leader coming up behind me at the end of that lap, but obviously still had the slam van to go. Not too far apart on pace, to be fair, the Panto and the Liberator. This looks like trouble. It's slowing everybody down. Oh, and then a bit of a demon drag as he goes off to the side to wait. Beautiful. Well, I'm in 9th, I suppose. Could have done without that time loss, though. Alright, Liberator. So my last car is going to be the Pisswasser Dominator. The Liberator, again, another fun addition. 2014, they decided to add this. We didn't have a monster truck in the game before 2014. Like, what a fun addition. Taken by the Turismo. Back into 10th. Don't think I'm going to be getting a top 5 unless like they've all got slam vans on the last lap or something. And then the Pisswasser Dominator is going to be my last car. Let's do it. And I would have got all my laps in just as the leader's finishing his race now. But thankfully everyone will get all of their laps anyway. Wait, the Sprunk Buffalo? Have I had the Piss Buster Dominator? Oh, I already had it. Oh, okay. I didn't realise I already had it. When did I have that? Lap 3. I was probably too annoyed by the fact that I'd crashed multiple times at the start of the race. Okay. Well, Sprug Buffalo then. It was a surprise. We had a surprise at the end of the 2014 Random Mall race. Oh, I'm at risk of losing 10th place here. I gotta be careful. I want to keep a top 10. The high res 4K Sprug Buffalo, yeah, livery. Oh, I don't have the pace. God damn it. Ah. 10th gone at the line. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm not saying I spent literally hours replicating this thing in 4K. Yeah, the Sprunk Buffalo livery under normal circumstances I think is pretty low res, isn't it? It does look a lot better. Damn. So I can't even keep a top 10 going for these yearly races. That first lap did me in, honestly. I wonder how much time I lost on that first lap. I feel like a top 5 might have been doable to get again if it hadn't been for that first lap. And to be fair, I got involved in a few other incidents where people were crashing and like not respawning or whatever. Disappointing race from a performance perspective, I suppose. Although not a bad little comeback after that first lap. But that was just so much fun seeing all the good cars from 2014 again. They were so good, those cars. Like, they made them better back then. 100% made them better back then. 2015 next.